What? Come on. Come on now. What the heck? Come on now, computer. Oh, what the fuck? All right, hang on, you guys. Shh. You just saw that. I had this up. What is going on? All right, they're hacking my computer or something. Um, since blung. Oh yeah, what's that? I had this page open and everything. All right, well, no intro tonight. We just experienced a 7.4 magnitude earthquake. Oh, shut my computer off entirely? Wow. Somebody fucking playing games with my computer? I advise that's not a good idea. Whatever agency's doing this, it's probably in your best interest to stop messing with my stuff. I will give you a fair warning right now. Do not mess with me. Let me get this open again real quick. You guys hang in there. Mosquito. Hang on. I'm under attack at the same time trying to bring you a report. I'm in the middle of a ceremony. We got a 7.4. We got buoys going off left and right. And I have to drop everything in the middle of bloodsuckers. Oh, man, mosquitoes. To get this out. So bear with me for just a second. And you can see I'm already up against it. Shutting my computer down. Do not mess with me right now. Okay, let's just get right to business. No intro tonight because we have a situation, folks. Here is our big 7.4 earthquake. Pull it up, USGS. Pull your head out of your ass and click on this. 7.2 now. They downgraded it. It was 7.4 just a few minutes ago, and I believe it to be a lot bigger than that because these guys are playing games. This was 7.4 at a depth of 9.3. They just changed it to 7.2 with a depth of 32. So we got conflicting results. That's why I wanted to get this open and going right the moment it did this, and they shut my computer down. They do all kinds of crazy shit. All right. Anyways, let me slow down, back up here. So now it's a 7.2. Ow. 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 I just slapped a wound. It's going to be hard. All right, Lord, give me strength to do this. So I'm under attack. Okay. So 7.2, 98 kilometers south of Sandpoint, Alaska. Let's pull back a little bit to give you perspective of where this quake is. Okay, it's out here on the Aleutians, but what I'm most concerned about, okay, and I talk about this a lot, is see this plateau area and you see this edge. This is a cliff and it drops down into this trench down here where the fault line is. This quake was at 9.3. They changed it. I feel that it may have caused a landslide. We have other small little quakes right here that are aftershocks. This is a 5.7 aftershock at a depth of 49. Okay. And right underneath it or on top of it is another one. Oh, where did that one go? Oh, maybe it's this one. Okay. And then there's two little aftershocks going with it. Come on, USGS. You guys, pull your heads out of your... These three little quakes up here all happened before the big one. All right? These three little quakes were all in red right before this one happened. So this energy came from the north. This one was first. Second. Third. Fourth. The fifth one right there. Sixth is a 3.8, and the seventh quake is a 3.4. Now, see this one, see this depth over here, 8.1. See, that's a real reading. 8.1. Note this, because they'll change this. 3.4, this seventh quake right here with a real depth of 8.1. Get this screen. Oh my God. Make adjustments here, you guys. Just bear with me. I'm totally in the middle of a ceremony and get this alert, and I have to drop what I'm doing. Bring all hell to a screeching halt. The whole battle to a screeching halt, so I can bring this to you guys. All right. We need to all right, close this out, please. Close. Thank you. I did have, there it is, the National Data Buoy Center. We have 3 active buoys. Where's my zoom on this right now? Give me... Can we zoom in on this, please, Lord? Oh, 10 minutes later. It's getting really, really frustrating. All right. Fine. I'll drag it down, then I'll zoom into it. Now, can you see our 3 blinking buoys right now? All 3 of those are right next to the quake here. Boom. So we have 3 buoys in event mode right here. Okay, red does not indicate event mode. Blinking does, okay? Red means it's out of service, okay? The yellow ones are the ones that are working. And right here next to the quake, we have 3 buoys in event mode. So right now, I am going to go out on a limb a little bit and put out a tsunami warning for the Pacific region, okay? It's probably not a big tsunami. We have no idea how big it possibly could be. But what I am telling you, what is most important is it's right in this area, right on this shelf, right where this edge is, the cliff area. Now, very carefully, we got to back out one, right there. Yeah. Okay, now instead of zooming, I'm gonna pull in. Now, do you see this slough area, this V-shaped slough area right here that has already had a slide, an underwater slide? You can see the underwater slide area. How about, can you see the underwater slide area? All right. This area is prone to underwater slides, isn't it? With something this big, that deep, it could have set off this area. It could have shooken this loose. It could have broken off something over on here. Now we pull back, and we got another quake right here. This is a new one, right there. Our newest quake is a 4.4 at a depth of 40.2. Okay, we are going to sit here for the next hour and so and watch this pop off and go off. We'll take little breaks in the meantime. There has been so much activity on the sun. The inbound systems that have passed by the sun, how do I say this, Lord, are coming here. All right, we got a lot of stuff on the way. And when we get to the satellite, we'll do that when we get there. For right now, we're focusing on this quake and our possible tsunami, okay? The only reason why I say that is because this was a 7.4 originally. A 0.2 and a 0.4, that's a big difference in magnitude. Each point makes a tenfold difference, okay? So I could see them downgrading this. We all know they downgrade this shit, right? So we had a 7.4, and its depth was a 9.3, the original reading. So I'm going with the 7.4 at a depth of 9.3. That means it's shallow. It's right up here on top of this shelf. It's right there, just underneath the shelf, shaking loose this cliff area. Okay, see the cliff area right here? Do you see the buoys right off of that cliff? Here's the trench right here. The cliff area is up above, right in there. I believe we may have had a possible underwater landslide, or this quake could have been strong enough to trigger a small tsunami. Okay, we're not talking a big one. It's not going to be like Japan, but it looks to have. Look, National Data Buoy Center, 3 blinking blue buoys right here, right where our quake was. I'm going to let that sit there for a second so it'll sink into you guys. All right? Now, what we're going to watch for is, will this one go off? Not every time does it go off either. It doesn't set everyone off, but it sure has triggered 3. Okay? It's going to radiate, propagate out and around in a circle, right, in all directions. Well, from this way down, it's going to be in the shape of an arc, right, in all directions. It's going to head down towards Japan. It's going to head down towards the equator. It's going to, here, let's just pull this back and use this map as a reference. And look at this. We got hurricanes going on here and over here. You know, planet's going off. But, so, imagine everything spreading out, propagating in an arc like this, going all the way down the planet from this point here, radiating out in a circle. Now, as we're kind of got this in the background, keep this on the back burner. We're going to put this baby on the back burner as well. And, wait. What was that, Lord? We were talking here. Wait, you said something when we were here. Say it again. Oh! Okay, now let's take our quake, all right? We got a quake, an epicenter with multiple aftershocks already, okay? The energy came down from the north, bing, 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 this way. It dropped in this way and now has fired off this, okay? So this energy is not your typical energy that follows the system. Look down here. What do you see? Do you see any deep quake? Do you see any energy entering the system? We got this deep quake probably. No, 4.3, 4.9. Those are just little mouse farts out in this area. But look how naked this whole region is. This whole box right here has one quake in it. How often do we sit here for hours going after quake, 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 every day, huh? Or every other day now, because I have. Anyways, look how naked this area is. So it is not energy that has traveled up, because this is a 4.5 at a depth of 10. This is a 4.0 at a depth of 124. This is a 5.1 at a depth of 35. That is not enough energy, especially after going through a kinked garden hose that takes your energy and cuts it from a 5 to a 3. I'm telling you, this quake right here was not induced by a deep quake. This is one of your, how's the Bible say, the quakes that are in diverse places. All right, this one is a diverse quake. The energy came in an arc from up here. Boom. All right, look. Do you see this small little arc? Boom. Whoops, my pointer. Bing. All right. So this is one of your odd quakes. 7.4. That's God always uses numbers and for effect, names and numbers for effect. And I saw the 7.4 and I know exactly what the name and the effect was. And these bastards come along and change it, okay? To change the whole effect. It totally goes missed now because, oh, it's just 7.2 up here in Alaska. No, it was a 7.4 Sand Point, Alaska. Sand Point. Some of you will, spiritually enlightened, will understand what that means. I'm not going to explain it. Spiritually enlightened no understand what 7.4 Sand Point would admit what that would mean. But now look how naked this whole area is right here. This is primed for a quake. We have inbound energy, don't we? How does this system work? It drops off a deep one here, creeps up through the system, comes through the garden hose, and heads over and comes down, right? It heads over or goes over and comes down, right? 7.4 energy coming over and in. Wake up, West Coast. Wake the up. This is a 4.0 out in Nevada. This is a little odd, too. I'm going to have to look into that one later. I know who that is, too. Back to the serious business at hand. You guys understand how this system works, right? How the energy flows down these lines, the direction it travels, right? I'm not making this stuff up. We have been doing this for years now. So, what do you think might happen here on the West Coast? We have 7.4 energy just around the corner from us, from the West Coast. Do you understand me? Knocking at the door. I am praying for a focal point quake up here to absorb a lot of the energy so it doesn't transfer down and wipe out the West Coast. Also, now listen closely. We have this inbound energy coming over and coming around. We also have a tsunami heading this way. The pressure from the water pushing on really tender fault lines might trigger something too. So, from here on out, everybody on the West Coast, just stay alert. Don't be surprised if we get a quake coming in, hitting the Juan de Fuca, a fulcrum point here or here or here. Any of these weak spots coming down, all right? There is 7.4 energy in the area. Screw the 7.2. These bastards, man. Anyhow, and there's a lot of them they changed. There are so many that they ruin. They actually ruined the message and the meaning behind it, because you would understand. There, what was it? A couple months. No, the last time we had a quake in this area. In fact, that's what it is. Thank you, Lord. You reminded me of that. It was a 7.0 in Anchorage, Alaska. 7.0. Gee, God uses 7 and 70 a lot. It's like his number, isn't it? Anchorage, if you write it on a piece of paper, is actually two words, anchor, age. The age of the anchor. The anchor age. You know the anchor, Jesus, the anchor, you know? It was a 7.0 at anchor age, Alaska. He's dropping hints, names, numbers all over the place. Look at the towns that get hit by tornadoes. The names, they all have meaning. They all have resonance. He's talking to us through these events. And when these guys come along and change the numbers to hide the message, all right, before we go, Age of Aquarius ain't gonna happen. Oh, ain't gonna happen. There's a new sheriff in town. Mm-hmm. So, what before we oh, hi everybody. I'm sorry I neglected my chat. Um, I love you guys. You are so awesome. Welcome everybody. Sorry I'm on fire. I was in the middle of battle and doing a ceremony at the same time. I think this goes off, man. I know. But we have had 2 days worth of just onslaught to the sun. All right. So when we go to the solar report, it's going to be for the solar report for a while. So in the meantime, we're going to stay on top of this quake for a few minutes, okay? And the first few, ow, excuse me, so embarrassing. The first few hours right after a quake is when you get your most aftershocks. And here's a new one. That's just what I was waiting for. It's a new aftershock. Okay, so here's our latest aftershock. Just came in as I pan back. See, the depth on this is 4.7. See, that's the real depth. They'll come along later and clean this up and put it at a depth of 10. Everything will be at a depth of 10. That's their common, because 4.7, oh shit, that's right at the surface. They don't want you knowing that. Right? They might even come along and downgrade all the aftershocks and stuff too to minimize damage. There ain't so much damage control. I don't believe a effing word that the media or anybody tells you anymore. Really, no. I mean, you can trust me, but you can question me as well if you don't. I try to bring you the truth and enlighten you at the same time. So, do you look at this? This almost looks like debris down here on the ocean floor from this slide. No. Is it? I don't know. Maybe it's just an underwater seamount or anything. Anyways, current this 7 point. I'm gonna stick with 7.4 because they keep changing it, or they changed it. So our 7.4 here. That no, I don't want to close this. It keeps distracting me. I get on a roll. It distracts me. What was I going to say about this 7.4 now? So this came in an hour and 22 minutes ago in my time zone. Yeah. So it's an hour and 22 minutes old. The big one is. And since the big one hit, we have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 aftershocks right next to it, right in the same area. If we had some kind of slide here, any kind of aftershocks might jiggle something else loose, right? Let me get that in the center of the screen for you guys here. What is... Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What are you doing? Oh, boy. All right. Apparently, still under attack here. Nice. Nice. Why? Right now. Come on back to me, please. Righty then. You could see how irritating this could be if I weren't so just low tech anyway, right? So I could see somebody else trying to do a perfect stream losing their mind when this stuff happens to them. Okay, but perfection is imperfection. Perfection has small imperfections in it. That's what it is. Oh, we have another aftershock, the 3.5 at a depth of 12.6. So we just had two aftershocks. This latest one at 3.5, the depth being 12.6. I'm keeping track of depths right now. I am watching them like a hawk. This one is still 4.7 depth. So we're having mid-range 3 aftershocks now. The first aftershock was a 5.7, probably downgraded. It was probably more around a 6. Let me just say this for right now, for what they got showing, a 5.7, they say at a depth of 49.5. So I do my little quick calculation, the depth of 49.5, that's not at the surface. That's a little deeper, right? Not real deep, but it's not 10 kilometers. That's 4 or 5 times deeper than 10 kilometers, right? So I believe that you add that energy, that you compensate for this depth. 5.7, what do we all guess? What do we all say that that's going to be at the surface? Yep, I heard you all say a 6. So, we do have a 6 at the surface as your aftershock. That's why I'm saying the 7.2 does not slide. I watched it come in at 7.4. I bet you Dutch saw it too. I bet you a bunch of other people saw it come in at 7.4 too. And now they've adjusted this depth to 32.6. So we do our quick calculations. Now, it's not at 10 kilometers. It's 3 times deeper than a 10-kilometer deep quake. So we take that 7.2 and we compensate for the depth. At the surface, that would be a 7.4. Wow. Amazing how that math works. Lying bastards, man. Anyway, at least they report them, and it gives me something to show you guys. Okay, so big quake. We just had a 7.4 up here on the right on the edge of the shelf here on up in Alaska. It has triggered the alert buoy center. We had three buoys in alert mode right here going off. Okay. So we have a possible tsunami out there in the northern Pacific, radiating out across the Pacific. Probably not a strong one. We don't know. It could be induced by just the quake. It could have triggered a landslide right on that cliff area. And that's one of the things that, see, I watched this for a long time, and I'm just so worried. Those cliff areas right on the edge is the underwater landslide could cause such a bigger tsunami than the surface quake. It's what I'm trying to say. That's why I worry about those cliff areas, and I talk about them a lot to try to educate you guys a little bit and get you more used to this region. See the plateau area that's nice and light blue? That's still underwater, but it's flat. That's the ocean floor, and it's maybe, I'd say 400 to 500 feet deep in that whole region. But then you come up to this is a cliff, and it drops down, straight, sheer face cliff, right down to this trench down here, and that's where your crack in the crust is. That's an actual crack in the Earth's crust right there that goes down to the magma. All right, it's sealed up. There's no magma squirting out of it, but that crack does go down all the way to the bottom of the crust. This is a tectonic plate. Do you understand how these tectonic plates are divided by these red lines floating on a lake of lava that's underneath? And that lava expands, and as it pushes up, it along these cracks is where you're going to see your quake activity. Okay? And now look at this. We have it doesn't correlate. We have these little quakes here in Texas. These are 5 kilometers. What's going on here? This better be a drilling operation thing, please. Yes, it is. Thank God. You know, never mind. I'm just thankful that it's a drilling operation. Okay? Sometimes that's a good thing. It sounds weird, but sometimes a quake there is a good thing. I'm just so glad it's that and not already energy pushing in. This is the one I need to look at. This 4.0, that's like right by me. Ooh, I know. Yep, that's decent size for our region too. And I bet we're going to have more. I bet we're going to have another quake, especially with this energy coming in. All right. And what I'm kind of relieved to see is it's all the aftershocks are going off right here at this area. I haven't seen anything travel away and like go down, continue on down the system. So that right there is a good indicator that it's all staying located in this area. But something else I did want to point out again for anybody that's just arriving, this did not follow the regular geophysics that these quakes follow. This energy started up here with this 2.5. See this depth? This depth is 5.4. That is a real depth. See, they didn't come along and change this one to 10 or something like that. This one, a 2.5 at a depth of 34.4. Now, they didn't round it off. That's a real reading, 34.4. So it's 3 times down. You know, they always say 10 kilometers, right? So this is 34. We go 3 times down deeper than a 10-kilometer quake. We compensate for the depth. That 2.5 becomes a 2.7. So we have a surface quake, come back here, 2.5, a little bit deeper, but at the surface 2.7 energy. This is a 3.0 at a depth of 86. See, that's even deeper. You take a 10 kilometers and go almost 8.5 times deeper. Add that to your 3.0. We're talking 3.3, maybe 3.4 energy. So the energy increased as it leapfrogged from this one to this one to this one, and then bam, we had the big quake right here, the 7.4, now downgraded to 7.2, but it has, like I said, a set off our buoys. Okay? You guys have probably seen this. We're getting old, repeating it. So, that's our latest update. Let me just take one peek back here. We do have more aftershocks. See, we had this one here and this one here. These 2 red ones, This is our latest. It's bigger. This latest aftershock is a 4.6 at a depth of 38. It's right. Mm, mm, mm. Can you see this slough area right here? Okay, that slough area reaches back from the shelf, from the edge. It actually goes back into it. See, these these two quakes are right on the edge of that slough. Do you see it now? See where this underwater landslide gave way and it all slid down right there? This latest aftershock right here, see it in red? Is right there, right on the corner of that thing. And it's a 4.6. It's actually went up. The aftershock before it was a 3.5, and the one before that was a 3.5. So this latest aftershock went up in intensity by a full magnitude. Okay? So we're having a quake swarm event, it looks like, as well. Because I would expect these to all taper down, not necessarily go up. They do sometimes, but when they do sometimes, there's your indicator of a quake swarm instead of just a major quake with a bunch of aftershocks. That's why I'm watching this sucker like a hawk, and it's moving closer and closer to the edge of that slough area. All right, that tells me. See, when you're having aftershocks at this slough area, something fell off there. That's why we're having quakes right there. Something moved right there. Something fell off. That, I swear, you guys, this is probably a real tsunami. Okay? You got 3 buoys right there in the area that are blinking. I would love to see this one blink. That way we would know for sure. I would love to see either one of these blink or the one neighboring. I hate that thing, pointer. Okay. Anyone around here, this one blinking would help us know. This one right here. So there are neighboring ones that aren't blinking. All right, so it's hard to tell if we have a tsunami or not. It could be a small one, and it's not triggering some of these other ones because it's just so small. It was in the localized area. But there is a possible threat for a small tsunami in the Pacific right now. Right now, okay? And the reason being, we had a 7.4 up here in Alaska that's been downgraded to 7.2. Okay? Now, something else that's going to concern me here in the coming hours. We saw the data on the buoys, right? If they don't say anything about this quake, and they're real hush-hush about any possible tsunami, and something decent size strikes and does devastation, the media is going to be to blame. They're hiding this stuff. That will be an indicator to me when they don't mention anything, or it's just not talked about and they just let it hit anyways, and then all of a sudden it's this, oh, it was a shock. We didn't think it would produce one. So their lack of warning sometimes alerts me that we're in trouble. I'm sure Dutch is right now warming up, doing his homework, pulling up all the sites and everything. He'll probably be going live here pretty soon after this. I can't wait to watch his show. I want to hear his dissection of this quake as well. You know, even though he doesn't understand as deep as I do, I still value the man's opinion. I still value his integrity. And yeah, Dutch is legit. Of course, we all know Dutch is legit. You can tell who's legit by how they report, right? So this region right now experiencing possible quake swarm. We are having aftershocks. It was a decent size 7.4. Again, like I said, downgraded to 7.2. It's not right on the trench, but it is at that slough area. And right on the edge of it. That just tells me that something fell. When there's still movement right on the edge of it, there's rocks and stuff still sliding away there or something. There could possibly be secondary smaller tsunamis too. Say say the big one breaks off a chunk, boom, and it slides down, right? Sets off the underwater tsunami, right? Then a little aftershock comes along, knocks a few more loose areas. It's not a big quake, but say it breaks off the rest of a big slab. There was a huge slab there, and the big quake only broke off part of it, and a little aftershock comes along and cracks and breaks the rest of a huge slab off. So those scenarios are possible. I'm not saying that's what happened, but as I watch this, each quake speaks volumes. And this latest aftershock right here, this 4.6, I was not wanting to see that. I wanted to see it stay up here, up on the deck. So we pull back. Do not play games with me right now. See, as we pull back here, this is all one big deck area, this plateau with the little bumps on the top of the plateau that stick up through the water. Those are your islands, okay? But basically, this is one big flat plateau. See, as I pull back, a whole area underwater is one big flat plateau, and right on the edge of it is a huge cliff that drops clear down to the ocean floor, almost like a Mariana Trench type effect, not as deep. But this face right here is a one big sheer cliff. All right. I want you guys look at this three-dimensionally. This is a cliff going down. This is another flat area. This is a flat area, and this is a cliff going down. Do you see it now? Do you see that big cliff? And right on the edge of that cliff is where stuff would fall off, right along this edge. And you can see, like I said, this little bowed area, you can see it fell away already. Something fell away right here. See how there's this chunk that sticks out here? There's probably a chunk that stuck out right here a long time ago, and it fell away, leaving this slough area. Okay. Now we're having quakes on the edge of that slough area. See, this kind of comes back up in here now. And right there is the edge of the cliff. And we had a quake right there. All right. So, scary situation scenario we got going here. Multiple things could be possible here, but we do have 3 buoys going off. All right. Covered that thoroughly. Now we have go get your drinks, go get your snacks, go to the bathroom. I'm gonna take a quick drag because this is gonna be 2 days worth of solar events that we're gonna go over, and there is so much in there that you're gonna want to have something to drink. Be ready for an intense session. All right. And I have to go get myself ready for this intense session. I got a drink. I just need to take a drag, say a prayer, and a very special prayer. All right, I'm praying for you guys. All right, I really am. I'm praying for you guys to have the strength to understand what you're about to see. I'll even just kind of leave it there, and you guys can just sit there. Why? Do not. Again, what with the... How come? Why? It just screwed it to 1 inch. How can that be? Come on, turkey, come back to me. What is going on? Okay. Let's do our dance again. Yeah, like I said, go get your drinks, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do. We'll be back in 5 minutes or so. Let me get this set up again. There we go. Now, what we're going to be talking about is this triangle shaped structure, slow motion coming out of this side. This is yesterday's. This is July 14th. I wanted to bring this to you last night, and as I started to get set up, I can't do it when I'm in the middle of battle. I cannot just. All right, I'll be right back. Oh Lord, please help me. Oh, ow. Shorts. Ow. Oh, ow. Okay. Alright, I'm going as fast as I can, you guys, so just bear with me here. It's not easy. Okay. We're going to go to the opening frame. I'm sure you saw all this activity. This is just off the hook. So what we have to do is let's go back to the opening frame here. Actually, not much going on from the opening frame till there. So, ow. Not again. Opening frame, July 14th. This is yesterday's. This is stuff I needed to bring to you yesterday. It's vital information, so pay attention right now. Here we go. There's something hiding down in here, but this area, this region is what we're going to watch. There is a triangle-shaped object that comes out of this region. And as we continue forward, we have these little spits and sputters, little objects coming out over here. Now, as these systems come in, they have, just like our solar system, outer lying planets, in their outer regions. That's what we're going to see first when this approaches. As you can see, here's some of the little moons, little things that come on. They're attracted to the sun. They get right up to it, and they hit a magnetic barrier that repulses them and bounces off. Now, as we get over here, I want this one frame. You can see this stuff squirting out over here and here, right? I mean, I don't have to point that stuff out to you guys. You can see that. But what I'm trying to capture right there. Well, Do not go out on me again. Now, can you see this black triangle up here that's surrounded by plasma? Can you see it right? Right here. That's your object. What looks to be some kind of pointed nose on a bigger object, a triangle shaped indentation or protrusion on a bigger object. It's odd. It's really hard to describe. And the frame jumps because I'm zoomed in, but now you can see it right here. Okay. And I'm trying to it's going to jump, but then I pull it back a frame. I pull it back. So we're going forward. You see it there? Actually, we can just do this. Let's go start, but I want to go slower. All right. There we go. Give a tad bit more tint. All right. Now the loop's going to replay here in a minute. What the hell is that? You see the face after it too? So, it just causes wave after wave after wave, shockwave after shockwave after shockwave to travel over it. So there's definitely something there that's inducing these shockwaves. Again, here we go. Triangle shape. Watch how many shockwaves just go boom, boom, boom. There's 3, 4, a couple more. Another one, another bigger one. All right. And whatever that is, it's heading this way. Okay. Everything all these inbound things are coming to Earth because they're all coming to see God. They're all coming to see what the grand finale is going to look like, right? Out of all the planets in the universe, God chooses this one. Pretty good. Pretty good. You guys are so blessed to have God on this planet. You know that? Out of all the different systems, this place is blessed. But you can see, I didn't even see that S-shaped looking. Is that an S for Satan's ship or what? I don't know. Actually, I do. It's not Satan's ship. Satan doesn't have a ship. He lives under the earth. But look at this thing. Whatever it is. And that was yesterday. Wait until you see today's. But just take a look at that one more time. And I was trying to bring this to you last night, and it was just, how do you battle millions of entities with one hand and try to do a live stream with the other, but we got some major players coming into town, let's just say. All right, and these things will have effects on the planet. Oh, let's just pull back a little bit now because I want you to get the bigger picture effect over on this black and white side of the entire day. We didn't even cover that event right there or this one. We were just covered the triangle. Look how much activity is just. The sun's going off. The sun isn't going off. These All kinds of stuff is arriving. Let's just put it that way. Okay. So there's your 14th. You guys ready for your 15th? Wait a second. We got to, before we go to that, we got to cover this one too. Boom. This right here. That is a huge event. And it's the southern hemisphere coming our direction right out in front of us. Oh, beautiful. It's got horns and everything on it. Cool. There you go. Let's see if we can get the face to pop out of this one. Whoops. Nope, it won't. But that's okay. It's a demonic face, anyways. And I hate to have to tell you this, you guys, but you should probably come over here and start looking at some of the faces that are accompanying these objects, because it's almost like an identity tag of the race that inhabits said object. Okay, and a lot of them have horns and are very demon looking type. Some are very nasty looking but are not hostile. That's more for protection. And there seems to be a common theme, and I know why. And the common theme is teeth. All right, the intimidating looking teeth will scare another predator prey type effect. Okay, so some of these entities look very hideous and scary, but it's for like defensive purposes, so they're taken seriously and not messed with. Kind of along those spiritual lines. All right. Other ones are really demonic and very, very nasty. Very nasty. You don't even want to know how nasty. They are so bad, but nothing like humans. Humans are the worst. They make some of these entities look like Mr. Roger. Yes, humans are the scariest entity in the universe. It ain't these things with horns and teeth. It's you guys. Yeah, and they're afraid of us because we're homicidal, suicidal maniacs. Is what our population is. It's homicidal, suicidal maniacs running around in delusion, in denial. This is a fallen world. It's it's inhabited by a bunch of fallen entities, right? And we're all trying to climb up out of it. That's what we're here for, is to climb up out of it. All right? You're here to learn, to grow spiritually, so you can ascend and not have to be stuck here. It's a beautiful planet, but it's also prison too. Bouncing back over here, I don't see any latest ones. That's still the 4.6 at 38. Yeah, right on the slough area. Okay, and just kind of bouncing back to that real quick. All right, so back to our 15th here. Oh, wait, we're not even done with the 14th yet. So, very demonic looking face on this one. The reason why I say come over here and look at them is because you need to start getting used to seeing other entities other than human, okay? That have two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. But there are so many different variations just on this planet of two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. From a bird to a fish to an insect. I mean, even you guys have two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Just like every other animal on the face of this planet. Well, these entities have two eyes, nose, and a mouth too, but variations, different shaped ears, different shaped eyes, different variations. We have animals here that have horns and antlers. Well, there's creatures out there that have same adaptations, variations, right? Um, some of the scariest looking fish down at the bottom of the ocean don't eat humans. They got razor sharp teeth and look like a demon from hell, but they don't eat you, right? So it's for their purposes. So a lot of these entities, their look will shock you, scare you, but you have nothing to fear. I repeat, and I want you to hear me loud and clear. You have nothing to fear from any entity because you are the supreme entity. You have Jesus inside of you if you know how to access it. And it is unstoppable. There is not a creature ever in time, in existence. You can tread on scorpions and serpents. That means demons and all kinds of stuff. Cannot harm you if you have the protection from the Lord. You guys know this. There's going to be all kinds of little viruses that come along with this stuff too. Okay? And they're going to be quarantining stuff, locking it down, giving you more fake shots, trying to poison the population to death. You know that's what that was about, right? Trying to poison you guys to death. And mandate it. Oh, it's mandatory. Really? No, it's not. This is America. I don't know what planet you're on. And now look how many people are dying from it. So, inbound objects, possible inbound viruses that come along with said stuff. And you know who protects you from viruses, right? Who keeps you safe and healthy? The Lord does. You know who wants to make you sick and kill you? Man does. Because they're homicidal, suicidal maniacs. Mankind are just maniacs. I have had so many encounters in the last 72 hours with nothing but zombies and maniacs. An elderly lady actually taped a laptop to the dashboard of her car and was watching TV on her laptop while she was driving down the road, taking up 2 lanes, swerving all over the place. I didn't dare go around this person. I thought they were going to put me in a ditch. I finally get around it. It's an elderly lady. I'm talking in her 80s, late 70s, 80s. Elderly, white hair, glasses. Should not be on the road in the first place. Watching TV on her laptop on the dashboard of her car. I remember when TV first kind of came out, and it didn't need to be said back then, don't watch TV while driving, because that would have been outlandish, ridiculous. It would have been stupid. But these days, no. This lady should know better. How old is she? She's from a totally different generation. She's not even the tech generation. Why does she have a laptop duct taped to her dashboard to watch TV while she drives? And when I looked over, she wasn't watching the road. She's watching the TV. I was blown away. So, I'm telling you, watch out. You guys are surrounded by a-holes and idiots, and you got to pray for them, try to enlighten them. You see that You're probably doing a lot better now that you have this knowledge, right? Oh, we got to pass it on. All right, here comes the 15th, you guys. I got to zoom out. Told you we're going to get all deep into this. Oh, boy. All right, so let's just let this loop play for a minute. Note the date today, 7/15, July 15th, 2023. Actually, we're into the 16th now because I'm a late night guy. And oh boy, look at that. How many huge CMEs? Look at the size of that one, that one. That one. Those are huge objects. You can see the objects that are causing them. You can tell by the spread like this, how big the object is. So we'll just let it sit there again. You can see the moons that are accompanying said objects. All right? Wrap your mind around this for a minute. You see the streaks going through there? That was today. You saw yesterday's and compare it to today's. What do you think tomorrow's going to look like? Yeah, I heard somebody say, oh shit. I heard that. Anyway, we have a lot of inbound energy, don't we? Don't we? We have a serious situation, don't we? We're already seeing side effects, aren't we? Do you think this is the last big quake we're going to have? Those are here, 14. That 3 days out for this to arrive at Earth, that'll be the 17th. Today's the 16th. Or, this next coming morning will be the 16th. This will be hitting the day after tomorrow. Do you get me? The 14th's activity will be here the day after tomorrow. And hot on its tail is this day. Yeah, oh shit. I heard it again. Same person. Yeah, you're starting to figure it out now, aren't you? It's starting to kind of sink in a little bit, isn't it? Yeah, it's starting to sink in, I think. That was today, July 15th, 2023. Add 3 days to that. That'll be July 18th. Today, this next coming morning is the 16th. 2 days away are 2 days of impact. After impact, after impact, after impact, after impact. Now, we got that. I want you to take a peek now. Oh, we're right in the middle of a new. I knew it. Of course I knew it. Okay. This is your Ghost X-ray flux, the heartbeat of the sun, and here are all your events. You can count the objects that are coming. Boom, 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 boom. And as I speak, we are currently having one. Like I'm currently having an attack. But I got to do this report in anyway. Do you see the red top of the northern hemisphere, all in absorption. Yes, somebody just said volcanoes will be going, yeah, apocalyptic. Everything everywhere all at once. Kind of that too. Uh, what did you miss, Heavy Metal? The whole show. But we're going to keep going here a little bit and we'll rehash everything and update you. So your X flare potential 10%, I'm bumping that up. Um, you can see that we're currently just had a little event. Whoops. Can I have a bigger version of this, please? There it is. Here is the current absorption. Hang on. There's something outside my door. And it's big. Would you guys hold on for just a second? Yeah, study this map for a second. Look, it's right over North America. Thankfully, it's not hitting the United States, but do you see how close we are dodging a bullet? There it is again. I have to go outside real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. We have entities on the property stalking the fucking party. I'm trying to have a little celebration for somebody, and entities are haunting the celebration. They don't like it, and I have to kick them out. So back to where we were. This is your absorption right now. This D layer absorption level, okay, and it's creeping down from the northern part, okay. It's not hitting the south right now. It's hitting the northern part of the hemisphere, okay. As we scroll on down, we have a sunspot that has gone beta, gamma, delta now. So that's telling me these sunspots are influenced by some of these inbound objects, okay? And this beta, gamma, delta, I think, was caused by one of the bigger objects that passed on the 14th, I believe. No, on the 15th. No, yeah, on the 15th. So this was current until the object passed. I believe this beta, gamma, delta sunspot will diminish now that the object has passed. But it did cause this instrument, not this instrument, it did cause the sunspot to go beta, gamma, delta as it approached and connected with the sun. All right, I believe that this will drop now that the event has happened. Something I want to read to you real quick. Oh, they updated this. It was the last one was talking about this shock wave, an interstellar shock wave that it hit us. Can we zoom out? What is? You just don't follow directions? I click on something and it just, amazing. How about if I just reload the whole page? Now it's changed. This whole report changed. It was talking about an interstellar shockwave that kind of sideswiped us, but apparently it's changed. It says solar activity is at a moderate level once again with a M2.9 solar flare. See, all this M2.9, there, it's just a number. It's just an M, and it's just a 2.9, despite the fact that it ripped a huge object past that ripped off that plasma, causing the M2.9. So your M2.9, well, let me show you what your M2.9 looks like. There you go. Your M2.9 has horns and teeth and looks like a dragon. It's a demonic face right here. That's your M2.9, okay? Nothing to see. It's just at moderate levels, again, within moderate 2.9 solar flare detected at ARC 3363. 3363. I'm not even going to read that. What we should take seriously, though, is this, all right? Here you can see our auroras are going off. The auroras are going off because of absorption. We are taking inbound energy right now, and it's causing auroras. Not too deep, not too yellow or red, but we are absorbing energy. And then I gotta open another instrument, please, Lord, let the thing work. I want, yeah. So, as we're kind of in between reports right now, I'm gonna come over to the Schumann resonance, and I want you guys. We are currently under a screeching event right now, but look at this blast. It went way off the page. Is that the right one? Nope, it's the other one. All right, I'm trying to get the right setting for the maximum zoomage. There's your maximum zoomage without the old lady. All right. So, again, with this instrument, we all know what these screeching events are caused by. We do. The rest of the planet doesn't, but we do. To refresh you, the core and the shell that's around the core are metal. The core is an extremely dense iron, probably type composite. The shell that surrounds it is a molten metal. Even though it's in a molten state, it's still metal. And under such pressure that it forms a liquid slab in a spherical shape, like a shell, like a hollowed out malt ball, just the chocolate shell, right? If you took all the malt out of a malt ball and it just had the chocolate shell, that would be the shell that goes around the core. And when the core takes this energy in, it goes to the poles divert it to the core. The core heats up and expands. If you've ever taken chemistry or any kind of paid attention when you're in high school, when you heat up metal, it expands. Well, you heat up the core, it expands. The heating causes the shell to heat as well and expand, but the shell can't expand outward because of all the magma and pressure on top of it. The only way it can expand is back down inward onto the core. So there is a barrier, a very thin barrier between the core and the shell. And when inbound energy comes in and that core and that shell flare up and they grind on each other, that grinding emanates all the way through the magma, up through the crust, and emanates from the crust and goes out into space. But it hits the ionosphere and bounces back down. That's what this instrument detects is echoes. This instrument detects echoes. That's exactly what this is. Low frequencies bouncing and echoing back down. That's what these readings are. This is almost what the shell and the core look like, kind of. And here's where they grind on each other. We came out of it pretty weak. It had a small pulse grind again. We went down for a brief minute. There's a thin black stripe right there. Okay, it's not much. It was really brief. We came back to life. The core started to spin again, but then another very intense screeching event. It dropped again. The field dropped a little bit, not too bad, but it was really weak. We had another pulse right after that weakness, and it really sent it weak. It starts to gather strength. You see the brightness of this line? That's our magnetic field gathering strength again as it starts to rotate and do the dynamo gyro effect that produces our magnetic field. It starts to recover right here, gets weak, and then bam, we're getting hit right now. See, I was in the middle of a very, very, very important thing. And it's sorry, there's entities in my room now. I said outside the white fence. That does not mean inside the house. Everything outside the white fence. Wow. The nerve of these things. Oh, you technicologies, you said everything in the yard outside the white fence. So I just came in the house instead. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's how our society works too. You say, hey, I don't want you here and here. So they go, okay, well, we'll just do something else. Yeah. All right. Back to our buoys here. Still our three blinking right now. I'm not seeing any others being activated. So these tsunamis do not travel the speed of light. They do go pretty fast as an airliner, but that's a long flight. So we still got some time before we'd see any kind of effects on the coast here. But in the meantime, it would be nice if we did have a system that works and we would start seeing some of these other ones blinking, okay, indicating to the public, or, to me at least, what's really going on. But it's sure looking like this Quake, this 7.4, downgraded now, of course. Of course, what big Quake hasn't been downgraded? I can't think of one major Quake that hasn't been kind of downgraded. Okay, we just had pretty good sized quake up there in Alaska that set off buoys, possible tsunami. Okay, back to this. Here's your absorption. All right, this is a wave of energy being absorbed right now, which will cause another screeching event, and the magnetic field will get weak. It will not drop down, but it will, what am I looking for here? It will get weak, and it could go down for, brief times. And that's when you're out now, excuse me, when outside, even though it's hot, I will wear a long sleeve white shirt to protect my arms. Because you want to cover up a lot of your skin. Sunscreen ain't going to cut it. This is radiation coming in. You might as well start wrapping yourself in foil here pretty soon. But when I go out in the daytime, I'll try to wear some kind of long sleeve, even though it's hot. If it's white and very loose fitting, it can still be cool and air can still blow through it. And it's keeping direct sunlight off of your skin. Okay. I even have some shirts that have gold thread infused in them, and we'll just say helps divert electricity and radiation and all that stuff. Wow, look at this! Look at this instrument. Watch, it just tweaks out when the blasts come. Watch the blue one. All these major events, and they just fast forward right through the. Watch this blue one right here. Gee, thanks for all that vital data. What a $1 million instrument, huh? That's funny. All right, so that tracker did show something kind of going off this way. See it right there? We will get clipped by the edge of it, the very, very corner edge of it, but that's nothing. That's not what we are concerned about anymore. It's this shit that we're concerned about. The entities that come along with this stuff now. Okay? The like scary tiki masks right here. Wow. Bizarre little like cat type looking, like a demonic cat almost, house cat type creature. Weird. Yeah, some of these faces are just bizarre. You're just like, well, this cannot be computer generated. It's just too bizarre. It's just off the hook bizarre. You, some of them are so crystal clear too that you're just like, okay, that is just beyond coincidence. It's to draw a face proportional, to get the eyes proportional with the nose, proportional with ears in the right locations, to have a symmetrical face. For anybody in a drawing class, it's hard to draw a face. It really is. It's hard to draw a face. But these are faces with weird oddities, sharing eye with each other. The left eye of one face is the right eye of another. Just bizarre entities. So it's kind of. It's a good heads up. It's giving you fair warning of the other realms and of the creatures that exist out there. In fact, you know what? Maybe I'll show you something that exists here. Shall we, Lord? I've showed them before. Why can't we do it again? That one. Oh, look. Brian Knight's live. I just had his name. Oh, shoot. I guess it doesn't want me doing it right now because I had the name and it took it away. Um, so back to this. We are currently under a screeching event as we speak. Coming back to this, we didn't even go frame by frame through this yet. So coming around to the beginning. Wow. Okay. Yep. That's the last frame. There's the opening frame. Opening frame of today, July 15th. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Do you see how wide this the spread is here? Our object was right in here. Got another one coming out up here. Stuff shooting out down here. Another one right here. Another one coming out right here. This one has a face on it. Again with the entity outside. What the fuck? Alright. I might have to wrap this up. There's a very important thing going on, and these entities want to disrupt it. Look over here on this red side. See how much plasma this event has ripped away from the sun? See this big glowing chunk of just plasma that it ripped away with this? This object, boom, 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 rips away all that plasma. It has so much plasma hiding it. You can't see it over here. It's just still bright white. This is the ghost image. This black is the ghost image of the frame before. Our object is in here still surrounded by plasma, and you can't see it because there's just so much plasma, and it's still illuminated. So we don't even really get to... Oh, do you guys see? Oh, wait, I can't do that. What's up? Wow. Let's get this face. What the heck? Why is it doing that? Well, how odd. It's not doing it on the computer. Alright, well, apparently, there's an eye right here, there's an eye right here, there's the nose, here's the mouth right here. There's this huge demonic face right here with horns and everything, and when I try to tint it, it blacks out half the face. Why is it doing that? It's not doing it on my computer. But it is doing it. Are you guys seeing this? Or are you not? It on my view, this half is black and the other half is white. But it's not like that on the computer. But it is on my phone. Wow. Alright, well, we got it. Yeah, it is. It's something. It's demonic. It's a jinn, demonic, whatever you want to call it. It is. Wow. Hopefully, you guys really got to see this. I got to get this just right. You'll have to come over to this instrument and look at the 15th and do this through yourself. This face right here is so defined, so spooky. It's got like crazed eyes, just mad, evil, crazed eyes, a crazy grin, a nose. It's quite disturbing, but you guys need to look at it and get used to it because this stuff is manifesting in the physical realm. Okay, when you see one of these things physically, you're gonna flip. You are gonna flip. You guys are not gonna flip. You guys are gonna see it and go, that looks like one of those faces Brian was telling me about. And you're going to start praying to Jesus, and you're not going to flip out. Okay? You're going to verbally pray out loud so that your own ears hear yourself praying, and that accesses the Jesus inside of you that you are going to need for protection against said stuff. Understand? It's really quite simple. If you don't, just rewind. I'll repeat it. You guys got to be firm in your belief. You need to be rock solid. Your belief has to go to knowing that solid. So when you speak, you command. Okay? Something like this comes at you, you don't run and scream. You yell at that thing and you say, "Our Heavenly Father." Jesus says you have got to get behind me. Get away from me, you clown. Who do you think you are? I am a knower. More than believer, I am a knower. And they have no choice. They have no power over you. But you got to be able to hear yourself pray to access the Jesus that's inside you. There is a sliver of Jesus in everyone. The way you access it is by praying out loud. That way your own ears hear your own mouth talking to yourself to unlock the door in your mind that accesses the half that has Jesus. That's the only way you're going to withstand any kind of assault. All right? And I'm telling you, this stuff is manifesting. If you, how do I put this, Lord? Please, speak through me, Lord. You tell them. If you see one of these entities materializing in front of you, they don't just like appear suddenly. You'll see it kind of like materialize in front of you. You see something like that starting to happen, don't wait to see what the entity looks like. Don't let it finish materializing. Start praying right then. You have no authority over me. Our Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, get behind me. Just don't even bother materializing. The moment you start thinking that, it's just going to be like, oh, this guy's got it. I can't mess with him. All right? Unfortunately, for the people that don't know about this, they aren't going to stand a chance. And what you're going to witness is a society lose its mind. It's already lost its mind, but when this stuff really starts to unfold, you're going to see it's people won't be able to handle it. It's too much for them. You know, it'll induce a heart attack, and they'll either drop dead or they'll go into some kind of panic or something. But you won't. You will know that's exactly what's supposed to be happening, and I have protection. And everybody's gonna be running around wondering what do we do to protect ourselves from this? How do you stop something demonic? Well, duh, with prayer. That's why the Bible was so important. That's why it was supposed to be in the schools. You know, there wasn't such a thing as school before the Bible. They taught the Bible. School was the Bible. It was the textbook. Little House on the Prairie, they didn't have Webster's dictionary and, lawyer's math book. They used the Bible to teach. And it's been taken out of our schools, and now people have no idea what's going on, what to expect, how to interpret it, how to fight it, nothing. They don't stand a chance. They really don't. And our evil dictators and rulers that all worship the devil, well, they should have just known better right then it's like, it's real. Why would you mess with the devil? They want to get rich and famous and all that great stuff. They want money and power. So it's like, oh, sure, you want that? Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, you can have it, but it's going to cost your soul at the end. I don't care. I want to be able to do what I want to do right here, right now. Well, you don't want any pain. You don't want any suffering. You don't want to take care of that business right now. Just do it for eternity then. Here, I'm looking at this now. This is a little 4.4 here on the Coco's plate. That was way earlier in the day. That is way before a big quake. Never mind. So, since our big quake, some good news to report is all of our aftershocks and said like miniature quake swarm. Let's see what this is. 3.3 at a depth of 15.2. This was our last at a 4.6. They are diminishing again. So it seems that this quake is calming down now. The time between aftershocks is getting longer and longer. That there was one jump in aftershock magnitude, but it was one magnitude and then went back down to 3.3. So it seems like our event is winding down there. Still kind of checking this data buoy center. They might not. Oh, you know what? Let's try refreshing it real quick in case it's one of those that doesn't naturally refresh. No, still the same 3. But they're right in that region of the quake. Maybe the quake shook them a little bit, shook their base and triggered them or whatever, but like I showed you, this quake was right on a slough zone, right on the edge of this cliff area, okay? Here being this little slough zone, this V-shaped kind of slough zone right here with our quakes right at the edge of said slide area, underwater slide area. Okay, and I think maybe that's what have been happened is this may have shaken some of this area loose, and we had a small underwater landslide that triggered 3 of these buoys here. So I'm gonna go. I need to scour YouTube. Let's see just real quick here. There's Dutch. He was up 25 minutes ago. Okay, I'm going to go because I want to hear his report. All right, you guys, y'all have a good night. I love you all. God bless you all. Keep your head on a swivel, folks. I should have done a weather report, too. Dang it. Do you guys want to see a weather report, or do you want to just go over to Dutch? I'll take a vote right now in the chat room. Vote right now in the chat room for you guys. Would you rather stay here, or would you want me to close up shop and go over to Dutch? Because I kind of done with my report. I was going to do a weather. Do you want to see the weather report with our inbound energy and stuff? Yes. Okay. Yeah, we better do that. I got to get out of YouTube, though, because that's been jamming up my computer. YouTube has been jamming up my computer. Amazing. Okay, let's just... Oh, we got a lot of data, too. All right, let this loop go. And those that want to go over to Dutch, you can. I don't mind if you leave and you go over there. I'm not one of those weird jealous types that'll be like, "Oh, you'll never come to my channel again. You went to another guy." Well, a lot of people are that way. Okay. Wow. I'm going to do these next few days with this new inbound energy coming in, okay? So this is our current conditions right now. Nighttime, July 15th, actually morning hours of July 16th. Noontime, July 16th. The end of convection, July 16th, sundown. Most of the country looks pretty clear. This stuff just went off the coast. We have a little bit here down in the south, tad bit. But that's the 16th. That's the end of the day. Then, as we go into the nighttime hours, we see blossoming going on up in here. Watch this. See how this comes in as one and it splits? Boom, boom. So we have this little blast come in at convection tomorrow night, or July 16th, okay? It's now after midnight, so it's technically the 16th now. So this will be the end of convection with this gust coming in, dividing in the middle at nighttime, turning intense right there, down here in Louisiana as well. Then we go to the morning hours of the 17th. There's the noon, the end of convection, and nighttime, July 17th. There's the morning hours of the 18th. Now, this stuff is congealing overnight, and in the morning, coming together. All right, so this is going to be the morning hours, 7 a.m. in this area is going to wake up to thunderstorms. They shoot down this way during the noontime. That's the end of convection, sundown right here. You see it coming together. This is the 18th. That will be energy that came off the 15th. There's the 15th with the demonic face, right? Whoops. Back to this. So, the 18th, whatever here, the end of convection, is not going to be what that looks like. It will be more intense with demonic energy attached to it. And you know what? That face that's back there on that, watch this. You guys are going to trip. This face right here, 3 days later on the 18th, when this event happens on July 18th,